Shalom, shalom, hola, aloha, bonjour, assalamu alaikum, osio. This is your brother Zach Bay, Indigenous American Moor, coming to you live in full effect. Like, share, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell down below so you can be notified whenever I'm dropping new content. Leave a comment, interact with me. Thank you for joining me, and I really do appreciate your viewership. Let's jump into another one. Today I want to talk about some terms I've been hearing a little more often being thrown around the internet, and it's becoming more commonplace that these phrases are being tossed around and spoken about. The term is NPCs and also bots. Okay, so if you don't know what NPC stands for, it's short for non-player character or non-playable character. It's a gamer phrase. When I would say it might have popped up maybe like in the 2000s. RPG games got really big, and we started making like shorthands for different types of game types and things like that. So like FPS, first person shooter, RPG, role playing games, RTS, real time strategy, terms like that. Hopefully it's making sense to you. But when it comes to playing RPG games, like maybe the Elder Scrolls franchise, or maybe even the Fable franchise, even like Knights of the Old Republic, things of that nature, Fallout 3, 4, so NPCs are non-playable characters, like a merchant you might go to sell your goods to that's always trading, hopefully it makes sense. Also, peep the drip, the God's Closet. I see the El Bay right here from, check them out on Instagram, God's Closet. But back to it. But yeah, non-playable characters and also bots. Bots are like, I'm not just talking about bots as in, I would say how sometimes people get views and likes on their channels, on their pages, or streams. I believe J. Cole brought it up, how like a lot of these people are getting heavy streams on like these streaming platforms, Cloud, Spotify, the Apple Store. With these streaming numbers, they say that people are paying for bots. They're paying for fake likes, fake views, fake follows, and it's just not real accounts, just computer made accounts, or someone constantly making fake profiles and managing them like one human being. Right, like pretty much there's farms for doing these type of things when it comes to like data farming or even crypto mining. If you're familiar with those terms, you know exactly what I mean. But it's bots when it comes to that. But then, and of course, the term NPCs, people are throwing that around a lot more, because as we're operating out here in this world, people are starting to see that it's more and more like the Matrix. It's like the artificial Matrix is like really unfolding in front of people's eyes. People are seeing things that just really aren't making sense. It's, people are noticing actions from individuals that don't really seem to make sense with like a logic, honestly. And I feel like a lot of people kind of woke up to this when it comes to like after the C-19 thing that happened a couple years ago, right? Never forget who went along with that plan. Never forget whether it's friends, co-workers, family, who was trying to push it on you, who was trying to push it on all of us, right? Never forget who went along with it, who lined up and, did everything that them folks were saying, just went along with the plan. Never forget who those people are, fam. Don't forget who they are, because those people will definitely be the ones who are bots and agents and NPCs. Now, when I say agents, from the movie, The Matrix, agents are people who are or beings or entities that are working within the Matrix. It's a machine that has greater power than a human being would have inside of this Matrix, because it's part of the programming That's what these agents are. These agents are often put in place in certain positions in order to keep the status quo, in order to keep you exactly where you are, to keep you in the place that they have designed specifically for you, to keep you boxed in, locked in prison, to keep you on their set plan, their trajectory, where they want you to go, what they want you to do, how they want you to be a battery for their system. That's what these agents a lot of times are put in place for. They pop up in the comment section a lot of times on videos, especially people talking about information like this, much larger platforms than mine. I don't want to put anyone's name out there, but people who are putting knowledge out there, actual humans, actual people who are for the Most High, who are putting real information out here, who are trying to raise fallen humanity, who people are trying to increase the consciousness that's out here, people who are trying to get you to critically think, people who really want you to get you to think for yourself and to question everything, fam. It's agents put out here specifically to do that. And they're not just doing it because it's just their personality, it's just what they want to do. They're truthfully hired. There's a lot of money behind keeping the status quo, to keep you locked in the box, to keep you locked in the matrix, to keep your mind imprisoned so you can never see what's really going on in the world outside with humanity as a whole, and keep you disconnected by keeping you connected inside of their system, fam. That's what they're really trying to do. And these agents are put out here and they're put in place in certain positions. They prime example, do you remember these people, these so-called people who are described to be fact checkers, when they were fact checking almost anything and everything that was going online to the public? When I mean online to the public, I mean through like social media platforms. There was these fact checkers that was going around, and it turns out that these fact checkers were a group of selected people who had a list of what they would accept and allow to be placed out there without putting this fact checker label on it. You remember that? These people are the agents, fam. And best believe there's whole offices filled with these type of people who literally sit in front of a computer screen all day, every day, checking on your likes, comments, spreading dissent, spreading misinformation, purposely following profiles and accounts, doing types of shadow banning. If you've ever heard of what that is, it's when a media platform, a social media platform, throttles the views and the appearance of your information that you personally place out there. They limit it to a very, very small window of viewers or people, and they slow down traffic to either your page or whatever information that you're trying to put out there. They pretty much put you behind anything and everything that they could possibly put out there to distract people, all right? Instead of letting your message flow freely and letting people engage with you in an open and honest dialogue. Bam. This is a real plot. Like, people are really starting to see it. And I'm glad that people are really starting to see these matrix out here, these agents out here working in the matrix, fam. Never forget who those people are back in the day who went along to get along. Never forget them. I want to talk a little bit about predictive programming. What is predictive programming? I have a few things to go over, and I'm not going to try to make this one too long, but I really got to hit these points to drive them home. Predictive programming. All right. So it's like information could potentially be put out there, an image, a concept, maybe fantasy, and through repetition, through playing something over and over and over again, through this fantasy, this make-believe, this story, this sketch, or this sketch, this skit, is just painting a narrative. So if potentially confronted with said scenario or situation in the real world, you could potentially, your mind and your subconscious will go back to when you seen said imagery or said scenario potentially play out. All right, so that's what this predictive programming is. Now, this predictive programming can be as subtle as you see that fire, the fire is hot. Place your hand toward the fire. You feel how hot it is. All right, don't do that. You continue to do it. Continue to do it. You can get closer, depending on how much you can tolerate the heat. But you eventually know that if you get too close to that fire, if you touch it, it's going to burn you. All right. So they're pretty much telling you that with all this information that's being placed out there, they are conditioning the masses to do something, to have a type of emotional response, a type of physical response, maybe even a type of spiritual response, even a type of intellectual response to a situation that could potentially play out in the future. All right. So when it comes to Hollywood, when it comes to the magicians who are placing these magical images on the silver screen, on the big screen, they're creating a reality inside of your mind. And if confronted with the same like stimuli or stimulus, if you're confronted with that, you're more likely to operate and to function in the way that they predicted you to, because you've already been predisposed to it. You've already been, conditioned to do it. That's what I mean by predictive programming. It's a lot of negativity out here that's being pushed as what's common, what's real, and it's getting hard for some people to figure out what's real and like what's reality and what's just false. What's fiction. So keep your eyes open. Use your third eye for discernment. Pray, fast, meditate. Do whatever you may need to do to have a sort of mental clarity when it comes to operating in the world out here, fam. Don't just be moving in a fog. Don't just be following the line blindly. Don't just follow the so-called leader blindly, fam. Think for yourself. See where you're going. Like, look before you leap. Look both ways before crossing the road, fam. It's like, these are simple things that it's like, for some reason, people are like forgetting common sense when it comes to operating out here. And it's just getting ridiculous. So be careful and be aware of predictive programming. If you keep seeing something play out, and every time you see it on TV, you see that, oh, this situation always plays out this way. As far as like, sometimes people are conditioned to believe that police will always do a certain thing to a certain group of people. So therefore they call said police on said group of people in order to get a reaction that they have been programmed to believe will happen if they do said things. People talk about like Karens, people trying to use police as a control to keep like some melanated people in order, things of that nature. And it's all done by predictive programming. They've seen a certain scenario, a certain situation play out so many times on the screen, and they feel that this is a reality, and they tend to move toward that reality, which is just a programming. It's not real. Be aware. I want to speak on some things that are meant to alter your brain function. And it's all out here, fam. Check it out. It's all out here in this matrix to get you. It's coming to get you, to stop your brain from functioning, to smooth out the wrinkles in your brain, fam. To stop you from thinking, to stop you from seeing clearly. They want to put the blindfold over your eyes. They want to cover your mouth. They want to completely wrap everything about you and blind you and cover you up, and for you to be deaf, dumb, and blind. Like, they just want you to be stupid out here. They want you to be a fool. They want you to be just easily controlled like an animal, like cattle, human cattle. Chemicals, that's one of the first things that alter brain function. Chemicals are in all of our foods, fam. Whether it's a preservative, whether it's an artificial coloring, whether it's a type of processing, you have to understand, overstand, and understand that when it comes to reading ingredients on a package, on a label, it's more than just the ingredients that are inside of said product. Oftentimes, there are secrets hidden within the production of said product, the processing of said product, that are not labeled or listed on the list of ingredients that are inside of a particular item. All right. I seen recently, it was a video that's been making the rounds on the internet. It's called Liquid Death. It's a drink, like a canned water drink. All right. And it always has a skull, like a melting skull face on these drinks. All right. On these like sparkling water drinks. It comes to, I guess, the public eye that rituals are done over the products inside of the warehouse. So they literally hire a person who does like witchcraft, or a person who does some type of spiritual practice that you may agree or may not agree with. All right, I'm just gonna leave it at that. You can check this out for yourself. Check out the Liquid Death ritual post or film. You could probably type this in on YouTube and easily find it. But it was like someone who practices a type of witchcraft, who does blessings, their type of blessings for this product and over this product. So therefore, as they're shipping out these large containers, you have ingested, you have taken something, and you have no idea what was done to it, what was done over it, what type of spirit was put on it, fam. And I literally, like, it's literally spirits out here that operate within things, like entities. And I want to continue to go. I don't want to go too far into that, but I want to talk about drugs, fam. Now, these chemicals and these drugs are damn near the same thing. A lot of the chemical additives that are used inside of products were actually derived from hard street drugs, or a chemical concoction of a drug that has been used or known to be heavily used in the streets, or abused in all different type of ways. Honestly, I don't want to say too much, because I don't want to, there's only so much you can say on YouTube. I don't want to censor myself. It's still free speech, but it's only so much. I don't want to get flagged, and I'm trying to, of course, get monetized, get up. So let's talk about okay, so I spoke about the chemicals and the drugs that alter brain function. And I'm talking about street drugs and over-the-counter pharmaceutical drugs, for sure. Pharmaceutical drugs. There's plenty of pharmaceutical drugs that are specifically tailored to alter brain chemistry. Of course, we all know antidepressants, mood elevators, things of that nature. And a lot of this stuff was actually derived from Third Reich Nazi Germany, during that time. But I digress. Back to it. Something else that alters brain chemistry, fam. And now that I'm going over this list, I realize a lot of this was also in the film They Clone Tyrone. Check it out if you have not seen it. I want to say frequencies. So frequencies often come from, you think of like music. What type of music are you listening to? The hertz of the music, I believe 435 so hertz is like a good frequency, versus other frequencies. I can't remember the exact frequencies that they play most of the songs that are on the radio nowadays in, but it's a lot lower than that 400, like 30 plus hertz frequency. that's actually like a healing frequency for you, fam. But they're using negative frequencies inside of not just music, but inside of videos that you might watch. You might not even hear, like it's some low level frequencies that you can't even hear, that are like inaudible to the human ear or to people of a certain age, and they literally can just be felt. You might feel a certain type of way when the music speeds up, or when the music slows down, or when it plays a certain tone. These frequencies are altering the function of your mind. All right, and sometimes they're even altering the chemicals in your body. So it's always good to be aware of all these things that are potentially controlling you with inside of this matrix, that are potentially locking you inside of this box, that is potentially blinding you, that's potentially covering your mouth, that's dumbing you, that's dimming you. You know, all of these things are used in a combination. If they don't get you one way, they'll get you this way. If they don't get you this way, they'll get you that way. If they don't get you on the front end, they'll get you on the back end. Like, you have to be careful, fam. Like, you really have to be careful. And a human, like one person can't do this on their own by themselves. Like, it's too much out here, fam. It's forces out here that are in operation, that are working, that you alone on your own steam, with your own knowledge, all the knowledge you have, you can't do it on your own. I can't do it on my own. Like, we really need the Most High God to give us the protection and the will to fight back and resist this oppression that's coming down on us and to us in every single way, shape, or form, morning, noon, and night. Like, they say that the devil never sleeps. There's no sleep, or there's no rest for the wicked. Is that how that song goes? There's no rest for the wicked. It's like they're always doing things. They're always operating. They're always working. Morning, day, midday, and night, fam. Like, all day. They're really doing this. What else are they using to alter our brain chemistry? Lastly, I want to say parasites, fam. This is one that's not spoken about too often, but a lot of the holistic healers are speaking about this more. Parasites, fam. They're altering your brain chemistry. They're giving you cravings for foods. They're absorbing certain nutrients from your body, which making you have certain cravings for certain foods that are not healthy for you. Sugar cravings, meat cravings, certain fast food places, when you just have to have that meal. You have to go get that chicken sandwich. You know, remember those chicken sandwiches that was out, those chemical sandwiches that was going around, that was so heavy to have people fighting over them and everything. Imagine all the chemicals, imagine all the drugs, imagine the parasites that were in those, that were making people fiend and crave those things, fam. Like, it's real out here. There's also a certain group of people that are leaning toward these physical parasites that are in our body, leaning toward the spiritual aspect of those being demonic energies within our body, fam. And I'm starting to look a little bit more into that, and honestly, how they're putting it together, it's honestly making a lot of sense to me, how they could come to this conclusion that these living parasites, these worms, tapeworms, roundworms, whatever type of worms that could potentially be in someone's body, that they have demonic energies attached to them, fam. Something that's literally living off of you, living inside of you, altering your consciousness, feeding on you, and growing and spreading. Along with that, I want to talk about conditioning on repeat. That goes to the predictive programming. They keep showing certain images to you in front of your face. They keep playing certain songs. They keep making certain sounds. Things that are becoming universal, that everybody recognizes. As soon as you hear the sound, bing, a notification pops up. You know exactly what app that's from, right? Predictive programming is on repeat. They're doing it over and over and over. Repetition is often the easiest way to teach someone anything. even if you don't speak the same language as them. You can show them a task, you can show them a video, you can demonstrate something. A lot of times, if you notice, it's coming from the oculars, it's coming from your ocular nerves, it's coming from your eyes that's taking these things in. The eyes are the windows to the soul. A lot of times, that's all it takes is these things to be shown in front of your eyes, in front of your face. You see it, and it's absorbed into your psyche. Sometimes you don't even know where it goes. It might pop up years later. You might have that one image in your mind. You're like, where the heck did this image come from? Why even think of that? Close your eyes and you can't get this image out of your mind. It's like, what is going on here? This predictive programming, this conditioning, it's conditioning people, and it's really just, repeat on repeat on repeat. You hear the same thing, you hear the same words, you hear the same rhetoric, you hear the same buzzwords, and a lot of times people don't even know the meanings. Along with that, I want to get close to the end of this by talking about how a lot of these things, these bots, these NPCs that are out here to control you and keep you inside the matrix, and who are pushing all of these alternate programs in order to control you. The chemical industry, the drug industries, music industries, food industries, like, they're really out here and they're after you and they want to control you. And sometimes these agents can be anybody, fam. And that's when I want to speak about how even back during the C-19 thing, when that was going on, when they were pushing these things for you to do this and do that, or you can't do this, they were trying to take things from you. They were trying to force you into complying, into altering your own biological, chemical, physical, spiritual makeup by injecting this foreign thing inside. They were doing all of this, fam. And some people did not have the spiritual guidance to resist. Some people didn't have the mental toughness to resist. Some people just didn't have the knowledge to resist, fam. Like, some people were really taken advantage of, and I can't even blame those people. The people who really thought they were doing the right thing, and they scared people, said that in order for you to protect the elders, in order you to protect the young, in order for you to continue to make a wage. Now, especially when they said that, I was just like, man, they're really holding people by like a vice. That they're really controlling you, because your livelihood, fam. How are you going to feed your family? How are you going to do anything? And it's another form of control. They have control over you because you work a job, because you commute back and forth to a place that most likely you do not want to be, but you go there each and every day, committing hours and hours and time out of your life every day, losing time away from your family in order to enrich someone who's most likely is not you, someone who could care less whether or not you dropped off the face of the earth, whether or not you were unalived. One day they'll have you replaced within the next 3 days, fam. Like, I made a video talking about this before. People are really out here endangering themselves, endangering their lives, and they're just cogs in this machine. And they were controlled and they were forced into making these decisions that altered their being forever. Like, there's no going back. There's some stuff out now saying that they could potentially remove some of the graphene, some of the toxins, heavy metals from your body, but trust and believe that SARS, that modified SARS MMR strain, that altered your DNA forever, and it's going to show up in your genetic bloodline. It will. Like, there's no ifs, ands, buts about it. Whether or not it's scary, it's something you did. Hopefully, a lot of prayer, a lot of genetic adaptation hopefully can happen in a few generations to weed out the destruction of the human genome. Honestly, like that's the best I can say it. But let's get back to this. I want to talk about, lastly, a subscription-based economy, fam. They're controlling us all with subscriptions, and that's another form of control. You have a subscription for, let's say you have a subscription for your television, the smart TV. When I got my first smart TV, I realized in order for me to like turn it on and to use it, I actually had to make up an account and use like a random email account that I made up just to make my TV work so I could use this smart TV. I was like, what? And it instantly made me want a old dumb TV again. I was just like, I want to just plug this thing up, push the power button, and the screen comes up and it's good, and whatever it plays, whatever I need it to, whatever I hook up to it. Instead of me going into a TV, I have to set up some kind of password, some kind of code, make an account, and then it gives me access to use the item that I bought. That blew me away, fam. And that was only like 2 years ago when that happened. You know what I'm saying? Because I actually had my TV for a good while. I was using it until it went out, and I was forced to buy another one a few years back. And setting up the smart TV, I was just like, wow, I have to make an account for this, and it really threw me for a loop. I felt a little dated then. I was like, wow, people are doing this out here. They want an account for this. Like, this subscription-based economy, like, I feel like the world is really moving to a subscription-based economy. Everything is going to be offered to you for a subscription, for a premium, especially for a premium. You can have the regular subscription to have this happen, or you could pay for the premium, which is a little bit more and a little bit better. And most people want the premium. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of services are going to start to be offered through subscription-based services. And I'm just going to give you a few of the services that are looking to become subscription-based services that will eventually get closer to controlling your life and force you to do microtransactions in every single step of the way. Printing ink. All right, so if you purchase a printer for your computer and you buy ink cartridges, there is a company that wants to get rid of people being able to purchase ink cartridges for their printer. They instead want to sell you a subscription service that will monitor and keep track of how many items you've printed, how often you've used your printer, and when you need printer ink, and they will send you printer ink according to your needs and your subscription base. You know what I'm saying? It's another way of control. There's different ways of looking at it. There's even talks about not being able to print certain things if your subscription, within the terms and conditions of the use of said subscription, they might say, oh, you can't print certain images like this, or you can't print certain copywritten images, or you can't add this type of heading or title to whatever you want to print, and it will stop you from printing it, and it will not print it. You know what I'm saying? There's even talks of automobile manufacturers and the luxuries that were once you pay for an automobile, you can use all the luxuries of said automobile. There's a new practice that is in its infancy when they want to give you a subscription to have heated seats inside your luxury automobile. Say you buy a 2025 BMW, Mercedes Benz, a nice luxury car, a nice German, luxury automobile. You buy one of those and it has heated seats. The feature for heated seats, great. You pay that up front to the dealership. Oh, but then they let you know that in order for you to use the heated seats once you've purchased it, that you have to sign up and pay for a subscription from the Mercedes dealer, or from the Mercedes company, or from the BMW company, however they want to swing it. and they're going to force you to do it if you want these conveniences, if you want these luxuries, fam. And when it was just, you could purchase it and it would be yours. You can use it freely whenever you want to. That is the new business model. Everything that can possibly be placed inside of a subscription and sold to you in order for you to pay on a monthly basis, in order for them to have forever customers, fam. That's how it's set up. That's how this matrix is set up. That is some of the future plans of this matrix that they have set for you and me. Hopefully this video made sense to you. Beware of smartphones, smart TVs, smart watches, smart glasses, smart cars, smart houses. All of these things have subscriptions, and they have vices and controls that if you do not use these tools properly, that they can eventually take some modicum of control away from you and your life, fam. Each and every one of us. Besides us being all monitored and surveilled, as Snowden was saying. Hopefully this makes sense. Beware, be careful of the NPCs, the computers out here, the people who are just going along to get along, the people who are trying to keep you inside the box. My last point before I close this out, the Matrix movie, the last one that came out, there were some people inside of there speaking to Neo who were placed in his life in order to keep him on a certain path, to keep him within a certain box, in order to make sure that he doesn't go outside of the narrative that they have built and created for him. He would often speak about dreams that he had where he could fly and do things, right? And if you saw that movie, there were people who were placed there to make him seem like those were just delusions, that he was potentially suicidal, that he did an attempt to potentially self-delete, self-terminate. All right. So just beware, fam, that there are agents out here. There's bots out here, NPCs, and they could be right next to you. It could be someone you know and love. It could be someone you go to work with every single day. Just be aware, be careful. Once again, this is your brother Zach Bay, and Didn't This America More. I'm out. Peace.